we do our studies in the Eastern way, in the Western way, in the Chinese way, in the Japanese way. I have also read through and made myself, I would say, amicable, or made myself aware of how in the olden days also Saturn was considered as the most powerful planet. So according to the Lal Kitab, which is the most popular and the most famous book of the olden era, I would let's work on what it has to say, or let me just apprise you of what it does say, or what it denotes. Well, it also speaks about Saturn in a very, very powerful way. It says Saturn, commonly known as the Shani, is the slowest moving planet in space, but has a very strong effect on all the kundalis, that is the natal charts. It gives good as well as the bad effects according to your job, according to the job that you are doing. Its presence is considered auspicious in the 2nd, 7th, 3rd, 10th and the 11th house, but inauspicious in 4th, 5th and 8th house. It controls life, death, wealth, home, children, results of legal suits, theft, illnesses related to intestine, that is your digestive problems. It can do wonders if it is favorable, but can be very evil if inauspicious. A slight translation from my personal experience and my personal studies, I would say it can do wonders when you are aware, but it can be otherwise if you are unaware. Like in my videos, I've already told you that these are the aspects that it is impacting and how the awareness can help you protect and safeguard yourself so that the life is more successful. So discipline, determination and dedication can actually take off the ill effects, and also can take off it being inauspicious, and it is up to us and our attitude how to make it auspicious when we learn the lessons. It's like a child going to a school, and he has to be under the strict observation of the teacher. The teacher teaches the child what to do, and during the examinations, when the child is tested, how well the child answers or how well he is prepared to answer the questions actually determine his going to the next step of life or not, or in the next class, or being promoted or not. So similar is the Saturn. He's like the strict teacher. In case of the benefic Saturn, a person becomes a great scholar with good command over language. Saturn is capable of turning gold into ashes. Obviously, if you are not going to be aware of it, if you are not going to be prepared, so even what you have earned turns into ashes. But when it is benevolent, it gives immense profit. That means when you've prepared hard and you have prepared well for your exams, it gives you immense profit. The people whom Saturn favors have high possibilities of engaging into the trade of machinery, furnace, leather, cement, wood, iron, oil, transport, occultism, as well as your intellectual property. However, if Saturn is malefic, the person has to face struggles in life. He may suffer from diseases related to stomach. There are high chances that he may also lose wealth or fall prey to imprisonment. Well, my take on this is that when the Saturn is weak, it means you have to work harder. It means you have to work hard to prove yourself. But definitely if you work hard and you've proved yourself, the results that you get increases your confidence. But if you don't work hard, and if you just take it that, oh, it's sometimes when children come back home and say that they have not been able to do well because of the strict teacher. That is the time when the parents say that strict teacher is only because he's trying to test your resilience and your patience. And why are the stomach problems come? Because definitely the underconfidence increases the mental stress. And the mental stress is always the first thing that is affected is your stomach. So this is what is my take on this paragraph from Lal Kitab. Now some effects of Saturn in the different yogas and combinations also it says. It says as Saturn is the lord of the 8th house, it shall adversely affect any other house regardless of where it is placed. Drinking, gambling, telling lies or indulging into frivolities suppress the positive effects of Saturn. If Saturn is placed with Rahu and Ketu, it becomes insignificant. If Saturn comes under the aspect of Sun, it brings harm to the Venus. If Saturn is under the effect of Venus, then the native may experience financial loss. But on the contrary, if Venus is under the aspect of Saturn, it proves to be beneficial. If Saturn is debilitated at the time of birth and comes in the debilitated house in the annual horoscope, then it causes great loss in the 9th, 18th, 27th and 36th year of life. The beneficial effects of Saturn normally begins after the 36th year of the birth. Well, actually, seeing all the above, rather than going blindly by this, I would say just become aware of this, and it is only forewarning you, it is only telling you, it is telling you to take precautions, and it is just asking you that these things can happen, don't let it happen. It's something like telling a child getting into drugs or getting into sex at a very early age is going to distract him from the realities of life. And if he indulges in the pleasures of life and his senses, obviously the things will not be correct. That is why the ages 9, 18, 27, 36. If you actually look into it rationally, these are the turning ages, turning points, or the turning ages in our life where we actually become aware, and our hormones play a great part, and we need to re-strategize our lives during these ages. If we strategize it well, things will happen better, and Saturn definitely rewards us. If we don't re-strategize, or if we don't become aware, then obviously we suffer for a particular age. Then the next age comes where we tend to become aware. So the Saturn gives evil impact when it is alone or placed with the moon, or it is placed with Rahu in the 12th house of horoscope. If there is a friendly planet in the second house and Mars, Venus is established, in such a situation a person may overcome a prolonged illness and live a healthy life. It hurts the moon in the 4th house and causes accident in the 8th house. Now Saturn gives a very beneficial effects when placed in the 9th house, provided there is a friendly planet in the 2nd house. A person may have to go for an eye surgery when Saturn and moon clash with each other. Now when Sun and Venus are in each other's aspect, it indicates loss of wealth, and the wife may have to suffer. Now actually, if you look very minutely into this, eye surgery comes when you're negligent, when you're being emotional about certain things. So the eye surgery will come. Sun and Venus, obviously, you want to really be lavish, you want to listen to your senses, so the suffering is there. Similarly, Lal Kitab has also given us remedies. And actually, if you don't look into the negatives but only look into the remedies, the general remedies will also benefit your life. So it says, if your Saturn is in the 1st house, abstinence from consuming alcohol and non-vegetarian food. Bearing surma, that is the powder that we put in our eyes, in the ground will be beneficial with promotion at work. Feeding monkey will lead to prosperity. Offering sweet milk to the roots of banyan tree will give good results in education and health. These are basically props that will make your soul or your inner conscious much more resilient. In the 2nd house, going barefoot to temple for 43 days. Putting a tilak of curd or milk on the forehead, offering milk to the snake. 3rd house, feeding 3 dogs, donating medicines for eyes or distributing free medications for eyes. Keeping a dark room in the house may prove beneficial. 4th house, now that keeping a dark room in the house, I would say introspective. So 4th house, offering milk to snake and offering milk or rice to crow or buffaloes. Pouring milk in the well, pouring rum in running water, that's alcohol in running water, is actually doing away with alcohol. So 5th house, distributing salty things while celebrating the sun's birthday, offering almonds in the temple and keeping half of it in the house. 6th house is offering food to a black dog, putting coconut and almonds in flowing water. Feeding snakes will prove advantageous for the welfare of the children. While the 7th house, bury a flute filled with sugar in a deserted place. Basically feeding ants, feeding a black cow. 8th house, keeping a square piece of silver, putting milk in bathing water, sitting on a stone or wooden plank while taking bath. 9th house, putting rice or almonds in flowing water. donating gold and kesar for work associated with Jupiter, and donating silver and clothes for work associated with moon, all these are for good results. 10th house, going to the temple, abstinence from meat, wine and eggs, offering food to 10 visually impaired people. 11th house, before going for an important work, place a vessel filled with water on the ground and pour few drops of oil or wine for 43 days. Abstinence from consuming alcohol, try maintaining good moral character. 12th house, tying 12 almonds in a black cloth and placing it in an iron pot and keeping it in the dark room will give good results. Some basic characteristics of Saturn, people's perception and the reality about this planet is also to be considered. Now, Saturn holds a very unique and interesting place in the list of celestial bodies. It is considered the watchman of our conscious. At the cost of repeating myself, please see all the above that the Lal Kitab has written was basically for people who were not educated. So such kind of things or such kind of rituals made them a little aware. Whereas in today's world, we just need to be aware of the planet. It is considered the watchman of our conscious. It's also called a serving and spiritual planet and is stated to move in a very slow, thoughtful pace. Most significantly, Saturn is justice in loving and is supposed to be a great judge in the Indian astrology. Many people share certain beliefs about Saturn which are not true. It is generally believed that Saturn brings hurdles and difficulties in the lives of people. But this is far from the truth. Saturn influences the lives of the individuals as per his or her karma or actions, the good and bad actions. If the actions of the natives are meritorious, Saturn not merely gives them good results, but also moves them on the path to salvation. Saturn is really powerful. Do you want to know the impact of Saturn on your life? Then know yourself, know your natal chart, know your positives and negatives, and be an architect of your fate.